Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and oh boy, has it been a day. A day that started nice and early, I remind you. But I'm here now. We're back. We've got all of our fingers, all of our toes. We are nice and warm, and I think it's time to get into bird. That's right. That's right. We're getting into bird. I think it's time we got into our next Arcana Spotlight. Sorry, I'm just getting my bearings here. Our next Arcana Spotlight is going to be on Ice Dagger, which, if you noticed, is one that has three symbols, and that's... I'm not sure how common that is, but as you'll notice, it's one of the few that actually has that going for it. It's got the same grouping of symbols, actually, as both... Well, actually, no, it's got the same grouping of symbols as Severing Slash, which means obviously it's basic. The Muscle Pump means that it's melee. But then you'll notice the boot icon, which means that it's a mobile Arcana. It's like, okay, well, what does that mean? It means that you can actually move completely and totally while you're using it. So that is... I mean, aside from the idea that it's got a 4-tap basic, which you can just hold down the button for, you also can just pretty much move freely while you're using it. So you can advance into combos, you can do a couple of hits and then retreat away. And it doesn't have a huge cooldown time either, which means that you can go and then go back. Like, it's actually very free in its movement, and I find that to be just chef's kiss. Is just... So because of this, though, this actually means that you can increase its damage with the soccer cleats, which improves it by about 15, which... Like, not actually like 15 damage, but 15%, but still, it's pretty good. And I think it's one of 2 basics that actually works with soccer cleats. So it gives you some idea on kind of how unique this particular one is. So now that we've gotten kind of the unique identity of Ice Dagger out of the way, let's move on to, like I said, it's a 4-hit combo. And to give you an idea, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll notice after that, tapping at that same rhythm, you don't get a 5th one. Now, that having been said, one of the things that you can do with this is one of the few Arcana that suffers no negative effect from, like, any sort of cooldown or anything when you're using the combo gloves. So you can actually... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can just do it that way. Like, there's a little bit of a frame delay between the final hit and the 5th hit. But that's about it. And because you're still moving while you're doing that, you're only putting yourself in danger if you're intentionally pushing yourself towards the enemy or an attack. So now let's go over the damage. First hit does 6. Second hit does 6. So 6, 6, 12. Not bad for 2 hits. Third hit does 8. So 6, 6, 8. So you're looking at 20 damage there. Again, not bad. And then 6, 6, 8, 10. So you're at 30 so far. And then if you still have the combo glove on... Sorry, I screwed up. So that last one still continues to go up in damage to 12, so 5 hits for 43, which not bad at all. And just that increase in damage just for each one is something that actually makes it so that instead of it being kind of iffy whether or not you want to take the combo glove, this one, it's definitely worthwhile. You definitely want to take the combo glove if you see it while you're using the Ice Dagger. Now let's go check out what it's like when it's being upgraded. So now you can see it's 2 daggers side by side, and the last 2 daggers get thrown. So let's look at the damage. So unfortunately, 2 daggers side by side only makes it so that it's essentially a single hit that has a wider hitbox. So 6/6. Still 6/6/8, and that last one was a critical, so kind of threw off my groove. Now, as you can see, you get 6/6/8, but then the last one actually hits twice. Now, I believe that is because. So the actual launch of the dagger does 12, but the initial thrust also does that damage. It does the 10, so now you've got about the damage that you would have if you were doing the combo glove. And you got 42, so 6, 6, 8, 10, 12, so 20, 30, 42. Okay, I'm trying to get this without a critical hit in the string, so you can see it for yourself. There you go. And the hits come very quickly, so this is definitely something that works better with a little bit of critical hit on your side. And because the later hits get into the 10 range, where you can start noticing a marked difference in your damage increases, actually getting the soccer cleats would certainly not be bad for this particular Arcana. So for this one, for this basic, things that you want are like soccer cleats, Shiva's water bottle, Stanza of Frost is good. You definitely want things like Analytical Monocle. It's really good for critical hits because it scores 4 hits just right up front, so Dark Katana also works pretty nicely. As far as the candies, pretty much I'm going to recommend to you the usual suspects, but this time I would actually say probably take either the cotton candy or the raw chocolate are kind of the top dog here. Again, citrus sweets you want to stay away from. Bubblegum is also good, and that one is, and it's pretty much always markedly okay. It really depends, because the cinnamon hots actually work really well with kind of more projectile-based basics. So things like Aqua Arc or Bouncing Blaze, things like that tend to make the cinnamon hots stand out a little bit more. Now, as far as how it's affected by Sidewinder's badge, quick show that off. Alright, so first hit gets an additional hit for 2, so that makes it 8. Second hit, also an additional hit for 2, so you're up to 16. Okay, I'm trying not to get so many critical hits here. Third hit is 8 and 2. Okay, can we not? Okay, we're trying to do this without critical hits, please. So 8 and 2, so it's additional 6 damage so far. And then the last hit is 10 and 3. So we got 8, 8, 10, 13. And you'd think that I have something that's boosting my critical hit, but I don't. That puts it up to 39, and that's before taking into account things like combo gloves or anything else. So this is another one where the extra damage from the Sidewinder's badge is more or less worth it. Though I would definitely say try to find combo gloves first. Like if you have to choose one or the other, take combo gloves take combo gloves before you take this. And evening gloves is just in general good for most basics. So now let's go ahead and build a run around having heavy mobility, because what we're going to do is we're going to take, let's see, cooldowns and run speed. We'll actually just stick with tempo for this one. And then we are going to go with a movement-based run, because this is one of the few basics that actually benefits from things that improve movement-based. We're going to go with that. So now, let's grab ourselves a signature that can also work with movement-based. Like Shearing Chain is definitely a good one to work with on that. So is Airborne Slam. Tearing Whirlwind works, but no, I don't trust it very much. Same with Heroic Blaze, but it works with Blazing Lariat, Blazing Blitz. Works with Seismic Entry, works with Tectonic Drill. Hammer of Atlas is also movement-based. Thunder Drop is movement-based, so is Voltaic Needle and Shock Assault. So, let's see, what's movement-based here? Heroic Maelstrom is movement-based. Crystalline Ballestra is movement-based. Glacial Cross has the movement addition. Astral Dissonance can basically stand in for anything. See, Gravity Onslaught is movement. So as you can see, you have options. And I think, because this is going to be more of a power than a critical hit thing, let's grab Blazing Lariat. Now let's go ahead and look somewhere in the middle. I think we're going to go with a kind of a fire and ice thing. Glacial Getaway is also movement-based. And you know what? We might as well go with it. What the heck? And every Dash Arcana is a movement Arcana. Like, even Chaotic Rift is a movement Arcana, so it doesn't do damage, but it still gets the job done. I think we're gonna go with Razor Burst. Alright, so we've got a very odd setup here, but we're gonna try and make it work. Now that we've spent just about 14 minutes just talking about the basic and its stats, now let's actually get ourselves into a run, and I can show you more or less how it works. We're going to start with Freya, get the hardest one out of the way first, and then go from there. We need the Chilling Dungeons. There we go. Get ready. So as you can see, one of the best ideas with this one is instead of just waiting to activate it until you're like right up against the enemy's face, because it actually has a decent melee range, I should point out. What you want to do with it is you actually want to activate it kind of a little bit back, so you can just walk into your enemy and push them with it. Because Ice Daggers actually has a pretty decent knockback. Now, of course, because of how it works, you definitely want to make sure your movement is on point. As you'll notice, I got up buttons pretty bad there. Okay, so we can take an immediate Ice Dagger upgrade, which actually gives us an additional hit and, of course, additional damage to go along with that. And also remember that Glacial Getaway can go over pits. Very nice. The knockback of Ice Dagger actually making it very nice to nudge enemies into pits with. Well, we've got 2 water-based Arcana that we can boost with Shiva's water bottle. I'd say that's definitely worth it. And then depending on what my cash flow is looking like at the end of the level, I'll either pick up the mirror or the supply crate. I may just end up taking the supply crate anyway. Go away. Thank you. Now, if you've got your enemy up against like a partition or something, like a pillar or a wall, you don't necessarily need to worry about walking into them to keep pushing them. Like, you can stay there and still get plenty of effect, because all that's happening is they're being pushed into a wall. Now, if you're going up against an enemy that has a fast attack speed, you gotta make sure that you're timing the button press of your... the button press of your attack right, otherwise you will just get beat up. It's especially problematic against rogues, who of course have that like frame 1 or 2 hit. You'll also notice that I didn't actually do the RNG thing for... And I didn't do the RNG thing for the soundtrack choice because I completely forgot. There was no special reason for it this time, nothing I was thinking about, I just forgot. And in case you're wondering why I didn't trade anything to Dr. Song, I saw that the only thing I was going to be able to give her was Glacial Getaway and thought, yeah, that's not good, I kind of wanted to hang on to Glacial Getaway. That was me not paying attention. It was pretty easy to see what was going to happen there, and my brain said, nah, you'll be fine. As you can see, not too difficult to push enemies into pits with this, so remember that when you get into rooms that aren't barricaded. Damn spikes. And there we saw that there was going to be a problem with the barrel, so we just quick turn around. There we go. In case you're wondering why it looks like I'm doing so poorly, oh, there we go. Remember what I said about that? But yeah, the setup that I'm working with right now is just a little on the awkward side for my normal playstyle, so... But because we have a little bit of a damage up, you can now see what the upgraded damage looks like, what the upgraded effect looks like, and it's just really helping our damage skyrocket with having essentially a 5-hit combo. And remember what we noticed when we were working with it before. The damage is gradually going up with each successive hit in the dagger combo. There we go. Alright, what do we got over here? Well, I like the idea of glass cannon, because you could always use a little bit of additional damage. I also like the idea of Wallet of Splendor. Yeah, that's not good. So we're definitely going to get that, which is going to enable us to drag enemies in our wake for a longer duration. So that's going to increase stun duration and signature charge. But I think we'll do just fine with a little bit of extra damage. So what Ice Dagger essentially is high damage, high mobility, somewhat limited range. Which, honestly, for what you're getting from that deal, completely worth it. There we go. Nah, it's an alternate dash. I would rather keep the dash that I have, honestly. So we're still looking for Arcana. Would be nice to have a little bit more gold in our pocket, but... So, what would be nice to have right about now is something that allows us to strike a little bit more of a distance. Because like I said, even when your build is more or less focused on one thing, it's nice to have just a little bit of a different option. So that way you aren't completely stuck. But yeah, because Ice Dagger has that damage increasing effect from each successive dagger combo. Each successive dagger thrust in the combo after the second one, you can quickly see the number starting to increase. I don't know how I feel about Bubble Barrage, but hey, it's something. We've got a very water-based build anyway, so I might just go with that. Now, real quick, Vortex lasts longer, so it'll keep enemies out of our face for a little bit longer. Now, our robe it's not a bad idea to improve the tempo robe, but it's also kind of bottom tier priority in comparison to other things. It's far different than when you have the awe robe, and increasing that critical hit chance is one of the only things you can do to reliably build your damage. With the tempo robe, you're getting with the tempo robe, you're getting more reliability from the cooldowns, you're getting better dodge chance because of movement speed, even though I'm really kind of screwing that up. Like, obviously you can see I'm getting really badly beat up with this run. And that would be because I don't have a lot of options. Fairy. Alright, now let's go ahead and go back and improve that. Actually, Aqua Breaker may very well be what I want to leave the floor with, if I can afford it. Unfortunately, I cannot. Can't afford the sturdy wooden easel either. So that would be because I chose to adopt the fairy instead of picking up the easel. So it's not like I'm looking at that going, oh, I should have been able to. Alright, so I can definitely see something over there that'll help us control space and give us a projectile. Do I want to pick it up right away? Maybe, But let's also explore at least far enough to find the relic shop, see if Anders has anything for us that'll help us improve this run. That was overkill. By now, you can kind of see how it works. It's one of those things you start a little bit early, walk into your opponent. It gives you a nice front-facing shield, too, just because of the rapid hitboxes. But also remember, it is very much front-facing. Like, it's not going to give you a lot of protection to the sides. What you're using there to determine how things go is your movement. Because, as I said, you can move at just a little bit of a movement reduction from your normal movement rate. So you can still move pretty freely, you know, slap people if you need to. It'll get the job done. Alright, so now that we've seen what he's selling, we can definitely come back here and grab ourselves the Violent Thornstorm. About the best thing here is the Tabi, and that's not great. So you can just kind of... We'll call it good after we find the red portal. The red portal is over here. What do you got for me, sir? About the best thing here is the Golden Saber of Envy, but because we still have at least 2 more shops that we want to purchase from, I'm going to say that's not a good idea. You know, I'm not super excited about the shop options otherwise, so we'll just move on. Alright, so against these two... There we go. And that's... Now, it doesn't seem like much, but as far as... Ooh. Now that is pretty. But yeah, as far as basics are concerned, even though the Dagger toss isn't super consistent, like you only get it when it's upgraded, and you only get it on the last hit of the combo, or the last 2 if you have the combo gloves like I do. Keep in mind, those 2 are not only there for you. Well, I shouldn't say they're not consistent. It just takes a bit to get to them. But not only are they about the longest reach that you can get on a basic outside of Chaos Crush, but you get to them pretty quickly, so you can strike things that would normally be outside of your reach just by having this particular basic. There we go. And I'll grab it. Here's the thing. This is great area control, and it's an element that Wind Sovereign Shoe is weak to, and I forget what the third and was going to be, I'm sorry. I was out early this morning, give me a break. Learning how to drive vehicles that are very abnormal. So it helps keep enemies away from me. And it basically does it by itself, and it's a summon, so it'll get mobs off of me. Like, there's really no downside to the rapid fire agent here. And even though you don't get a lot of signature charge off of summons, you'll notice I'm still getting my signature charge anyway. That's because everything else I have hits frequently and at high damage rates. Rapid fire agent basically just kept that guy hammered down. He was unable to make any good moves because of the rapid fire agent, and that allowed me to just get in there and capitalize. See, this is what I mean. Even though I have a run that's built mostly around movement-based Arcana, it's always a good idea to see. Well, I mean, the Ring of Reserves would have been great for the last run I did, so thanks a lot. But even though the movement, this run is mostly focused around movement Arcana, having the one summon Arcana and Flame Fusion, this makes the rest of the run so much more manageable. Even though I kind of got smacked around a little bit there, it's okay. I don't feel like I'm unprepared for what's coming. And that's what I mean by making sure you've got a good tempo on your combo string. Because that little amount of time that I was just sitting there trying to figure out what was going on in my head there, that was me not having good timing on my ice eggs. Hey look, a freebie. Well, I definitely like the idea of the Thunder Drop, more than the Violent Thornstorm, so I'll pick that up. For right now, though, I'm going to keep it on Flame Fusion. 2 reasons. 1, I don't get Flame Fusion as often as I would like, so I want to use it. Secondly, it's going to be better damage against Shu and his mooks, so definitely the better choice for the time being. Why, yes, I should have taken the portal, thank you. Guys, you're supposed to let me know when I'm doing stupid things, so I don't do stupid things. Yeah, let's face it, Darksage, even if we were there to remind you, you'd still do stupid things. Maybe. I won't deny it, my ability to be dense is powerful. Alright, what do you got for me? Nothing I really want, unless the Magician's Top Hat is for sale. In which case, then I want that. Eh. See how much faster the daggers come out with the evening gloves? Now that little like activation speed increase is big for a speedy Arcana like this. You'd think, well, wouldn't that just make the slower ones better too? Well, you'd think, but in practice, the increases you get on something like Earth Knuckles, because it's only 1 or 2 hits, isn't as significant as the increase you get from something like this. And even though it doesn't look like it's much of an increase, trust me, that increase is also helpful. That increase is also helpful for Bolt Rail, because even though you don't necessarily see the activation speed increase, you can feel it happening as you're landing your hits, and it makes a difference. Alright, let's go ahead and buy ourselves a potion, just to make sure that everything is on the up and up. All it took to dodge his garbage was just a little sidestep, and we were on our way. Still my opinion that Shu is, outside of Sura, the hardest boss. Mostly because he's fast, and all of his stuff has a big area of effect. There we go. Fortunately, this time around, I was able to kind of hold him at bay with my rapid fire agents. My little fireball friend and my fairy are helping me get all sorts of work done. Now we can go back here and grab these little health orbs, little Devil May Cry red orbs. Although in Devil May Cry they would be green. You know, make of that what you will. So, at this point, you can now start to see the sort of damage you can get with the ice daggers. Because remember, like I said, you're getting additional damage for each dagger beyond the second. Then, if you're like me, you can completely whiff your next attack, and all of that extra knowledge goes for nothing. Okay, that was a rough fight, because he just kept summoning stupid Null Flash agents. But I am still a firm believer in the idea that if the rapid fire agent wasn't there, I'd have been in much more trouble. So the takeaway to remember with using the ice daggers: every hit beyond the second does increasing damage with the combo. So even if you miss with the first 2 hits, you want to be hitting with at least the last 2 or 3 to ensure maximum damage. It allows you to move quite a bit. It has essentially a projectile at the end that you can use. It has high knockback. Doesn't do a whole lot to sweep anything around you, so gotta make sure you're careful of your facing. But otherwise, I really feel that Ice Dagger is solid. It's not like the S tier that I feel that Bolt Rail is, but still pretty solid. I'd say at the very least a mid to high B rank. So make of that what you will. Hopefully you guys enjoy using it as much as I do. And that's going to be it for this one. So drop me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. Hit up the social media in the description below. I'm still working on pumping out some stuff to actually make Patreon worthwhile. So right now, if you just want to be super cool and help support a brother, you can sign up for Patreon and help me out. Otherwise, just keep watching for new content coming to my Patreon in the future. Like I said, right now I'm in the transition of going from one drop to another, and this one seems to take an awful lot of front-loading, so to speak. Like, I'm going in tomorrow morning for more stuff relating to the new job. It's nuts. I'm not used to being up early every day just to leave the house and do work-related stuff. But I digress. I'm also rambling, so I'll just say again, thank you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.